Hey guys, welcome to the second video today. And today, what we're going to be talking about is self sabotage, limitations, our dreams, goals, and visions. If you haven't watched the first video, it's real quick, it's like 2.5 minutes. Give it a second, check it out. You'll understand more of what I'm aiming to do here and also the meaning of the name of the Mali. So you understand my whole purpose in that. And so today, we want to talk about self sabotage, limitations, dreams, goals, and visions. And so I want to start by sharing a story of my personal life of limitations and self sabotage. Um, I know we all have dreams, and we've all had dreams since we were a kid of different things. One of mine when I was 5 was becoming the Silver Power Ranger. And the Silver Power Ranger didn't even exist back then, or Power Rangers in general still don't exist, but that was my goal. And as I got a little bit older, I decided I was going to travel the world and capture Pokemon for the rest of my life. Uh, Obviously, that couldn't happen necessarily unless they start genetically modifying Pokemon or animals to create Pokemon, in which turn I will drop everything and start capturing Pokemon. But until then, when I turned 12, is when I started to fall in love with football. And I told myself I was going to play in the NFL. Now, you could fast forward right here all the way to the end of my message and find out that I never quite made it to the NFL. Or you could sit around and we could discuss and talk about some of the reasons why. So, I knew from a young age the way I personally learned. You know, some people learn by being told things, some people learn by there's just so many different ways. My biggest way of learning is a combination of seeing how something is done, and then trial and error by actually putting my hands to it, which basically melts into me messing up a lot. And that's not a bad thing. I have to figure out how to do things. Like, you could sit there and explain it to me over and over and over and over and over again how to do it, or the way you want it done, or whatever. But I have to be the one that figures it out in myself. Um, but that also kind of leads to me figuring out unconventional ways to achieve whatever the goal is that we have together. So, as a 12-year-old, I started studying some great linebackers because I wanted to become a linebacker, and I learned a lot from them. Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Junior Seau, Lawrence Taylor. I learned heart, emotion, recklessness, speed, tenacity, aggressiveness, how to be a good teammate, how to take care of your body, how to be mentally tough, how to fight through injuries, all these things from these linebackers. And I almost learned so much from watching these great linebackers that I kind of ended up becoming a better running back than I was a linebacker, mostly for the reasoning of I kind of understood the way a good linebacker would think. You know, I was so committed to myself and football that I would go to sleep watching football highlights. I would wake up watching football highlights. I was studying the past players, the great ones. Brian Dawkins, Ronnie Lott. Um, you know, just great players all around. Bo Jackson. I was just Larry Zonska. I was just absorbing players that made different, like, changed the way positions were played and changed the way uh, football was for their generation. Johnny Unitas, like, these are just guys, like, just old time guys that most kids at that time of my age had no idea who they were or what they were about. When it came to try out for my eighth grade flag football team, I didn't quite make the team. And I walked up to the coach when I found out, that I was being cut from the tryouts. I said, "Hey, coach, like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done to make the team?" Because I'm always about improving myself, and I want to know, like, if I do something wrong, how can I make it better for the next time, even though I was in eighth grade. And what he told me was, well, you're kind of not quite as big to play offensive or defensive line. You're not really quite as fast to play linebacker, running back, corner, or wide receiver. And so I really got down on myself. I was like, damn, dude, if I can't make my middle school team, how the heck do I expect myself to make my high school team? high school team. And if I can't make my high school team, how the heck do I expect myself to make my college team? And if I don't make my college team, there's no way I'm going to play in the NFL. Um, and I had to remind myself that greatness never quits. And if you want to be great at something, you're not going to quit at it. You know, there's no example in history of somebody that was great at something that that was a quitter. You know, they might have failed a number of times, but failure isn't the same as quitting. Failure is okay as long as you learn from it and you adapt to it and you come back at it with a different plan. Quitting is just the motion of completely giving up being done with it. And so, um, take off my glasses for a second. And so I told myself, like, okay, I'm not going to quit, you know, because Michael Jordan didn't quit when he didn't make his basketball team. And let's think about Michael Jordan for a second. If he would have quit, we would have never had Michael Jordan. And how different would the NBA be if we never would have had Michael Jordan? Well, I could tell you there's one player for sure that might have never made the NBA, and that would be Kobe Bryant. Why? Because Kobe Bryant's idol was Michael Jordan. Everything about Michael Jordan fueled Kobe to become Kobe. He idolized his work ethic, his tenacity, the way he played the game after Michael Jordan. But there's also a number of players who did the same thing for Kobe. And then there's a number of players coming through right now who idolize the players who idolized Kobe. You see, there's like a never ending cycle of this greatness that has come off of a tree of Michael Jordan never quitting. Um, so I had to tell myself, like, man, I can't quit. I can't quit on myself. So I started working hard at becoming faster. Um, one my best friend at the time was one of the fastest dudes, or he was the fastest dude at the school, and it was probably one of the fastest dudes in the whole valley. Um, and so we started just running, man, running up hills, riding bikes, just doing whatever we had to do to make myself fast. So it came to when I the next year when I got to high school or summer, you know, I started trying out for the freshman football team, and it started off with the weight room, and then slowly you start running like speed drills and agility, 3-cone drills, you know, just to kind of see who's an athlete and who's not type thing. And when I was out there, I was really impressing my freshman coach because he was like, dang, this kid, man, he's 205 pounds, he's 6 foot, and he's freaking fast. He's like almost as fast as there was probably like 5 guys on the team that were faster than me running straight, like 40-yard dash style. But just football quickness, I had really developed that skill. And so he called the varsity coach and he's like, hey, you know, I have this kid, you should check him out. And the varsity coach approached me and he's like, well, you know, why don't we give you a shot? You come practice with varsity. And I was there for a couple weeks. And the moment I got up there, I was staring at all these guys, man. And I'll just tell you guys honestly, there were some beasts on that varsity team. Like a couple of guys got D1 scholarships, played arena football, were tried out for the NFL teams, you know, played football overseas, like just crazy athletes that came out of that varsity team. And for those 2 weeks, dude, I was so overwhelmed and like scared because I was like, how am I ever going to play with these guys? These guys have been lifting weights, running for 4 years. They know the program, they know the playbook, they know the scheme, they know what coach likes, they know all these things. And here I am, I'm just a 14-year-old kid. I don't know any of this stuff. All I am is a decent athlete, and I'm not getting their respect because they're all just as athletic as I am, even though I'm a few years younger than them. And I really like just started to destroy my own mentality. Like I was telling myself stupid things like there's no way, or never ever will I be able to get playing time or play with these guys, you know. Um and as I was going through this debate in my mind, I could feel myself not putting in as much work. I wasn't very happy to come to practice. I wasn't very happy to be involved. And it only lasted for about 2 weeks. And I went up to the varsity coach. I was like, hey, coach, you know what? Like, I would really rather be on the freshman team. And he's like, why? I was like, because I don't feel like I'm going to be able to play up here. Like, yeah, I'll make the team. Sure. That's cool. But I'm going to be a guy who never gets in. And that was me just being a dumb 14-year-old. I didn't understand that building the foundation and the relationship with that coach as a freshman would have advanced me further as a sophomore or a junior or a senior. Because if I would have known the scheme, the playbook, the reads, the way he plays the game or what he expects at practices, after practice, things like that, I would have been able to adjust to it faster and not learned it at the same time that the kids that were my age were coming up. I didn't know that, and that wasn't explained to me. Basically, when I told him that, he was like, "All right, if you're gonna leave, then go. Goodbye." You know, I'll call the other coach, and he'll be expecting you tomorrow. And that was self-sabotage. When I think about it, I ruined an opportunity for myself because I was scared or because I didn't think I could handle it. And why do we do that? Why do we say, "Oh, that will never happen"? Oh, in my dreams that could happen. Like, if you're like really, you cook like really really good food, right? And you love to cook. You don't just cook good food just to cook good food, but you enjoy the part, like you enjoy cooking and you enjoy watching people eat and serving and stuff like that. And somebody makes a comment like, "Why don't you open up your own little restaurant?" And instantly your comment back is like, "Yeah, that'd be cool, but that's unlikely, or that can never happen," or something along those lines. That's self-sabotage. You are preventing yourself from dreaming. You are preventing yourself from having a vision, and you're eliminating goals. Why do we do that? Back to my story. So I played my freshman year, and I played really good both ways, fullback and running back, or fullback and linebacker. Sorry, and I was pretty good. I enjoyed it, man, and I got some attention from some colleges, my freshman year, and it was awesome. Fast forward to the next year, sophomore year, time to try out for varsity football because nobody tries out for JV football. You try out for varsity. If you don't make varsity, then you get put to JV. Or you try out for freshman, and if you're kind of decent, then they move you up to JV. You know, right away, man, I could tell that first day that that coach was not having it with me. He he had already predetermined me as a quitter, as someone who didn't want to put in the work. He went to as far as telling the team captain that Kyle will never make my squad because he's a cancer. And as an adult now, I could see what he was saying. Was he right to talk about a kid like that? Probably not. But as an adult now, and as a dad and someone who's coached, pee wee football and baseball and basketball and things, I can understand what he was trying to say. And instead of having to sit down with me man to man and talking to me about it and just seeing where my head was ever, or my goal was, he just labeled me a quitter. And he quit on me. He never even gave me a chance. It was no way Kyle's going to make the varsity team. And then he told the JV coach, don't play him. Don't let him do nothing. Da, 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 da. So from my self sabotage, I gave permission to someone else to sabotage me. It wasn't his choice to do that. I allowed that to happen. I was the one that put the wheels in motion for that to happen. Sometimes we don't think about our actions like that. Sometimes we live in the moment and we do things. We don't think about the trickle effect of what our actions might lead to or what they might cause. And what they can lead to or cause can be worse than the effect or the solution of what our initial action is. My initial action was to quit varsity to go play freshman football because I knew I'd actually get to play at the freshman level. But what did that cost me? It cost me a lot, and I never thought of it like that. Um, what is the definition of limitation? Well, it's a circumstance, a rule, or a prevention uh, to stop you from doing something. That's what's crazy. Is through self sabotage, I also committed self limitations because I had told myself like, well, I guess that's it. I'm not going to make football. I'm not going to make varsity. So there's no way I could go to college to play football. So why even try in the classroom? I started putting limitations on myself. I'll never change coach's mind about me. There's just no way. Why try to get a 4.0 GPA? I don't need it. I could just get a 2.1. I started putting these limitations on myself. But that's kind of the problem that we have in in society is we kind of want everything easy handed to us. If you're a pretty good basketball player, but you only play with kids who are in elementary school, so you think you're a pretty good basketball player, you're never going to get good. You're never going to get better because you're playing down. I didn't know that. See, I could have grown so much by playing with the varsity guys, playing with guys who are better than me, stronger than me, faster than me, learned from them. You could get better by failure. You could get better by losing. You just have to learn from it and rise to the occasion. There's nothing wrong with sitting on the bench and learning for a year, especially as a freshman. That was a golden opportunity that I blew. And I didn't quite have a mentor or anyone to talk me through it at that time. You know, my mentors, people who, or specifically a person who would have described that to me or and helped break that situation down for me, didn't come until later in in my life. But I ruined it for myself. We ended up moving to another high school where I was able to play football and did pretty good. You know, long story short, I got a scholarship to a very, very, very small college. And again, I created self sabotage. See, I never got to find out if I can make it to the NFL. I can look at it with a logical mind and be like, well, probably wasn't very likely. I could do that. Or I can look at it as a dreamer and say, no, I could have made it because I got a scholarship to a small college. I could have transferred up. It wasn't a D1 college. So I could have played there and transferred up. But I never got to find that out because I was so down on myself for not making it D1 that I didn't just jump at the opportunity, load up my bags, and go. I decided to try to see if I could go a different route. You know, instead I tried out for the Los Angeles. I forget what the name of the team was. It wasn't the Kiss, but it was another team. Um, the arena football team, and I almost made it to the arena football team as a 18-year-old, just graduated out of high school. When I didn't make that cut, I was like, well, all right then, that's that. And I gave up on myself. But here's one thing that I've noticed as I've gotten older. Even though everything that happened to me was self sabotage and limitations that I put on myself, I had to realize as an adult, why do I do that? Or why did I do that? Because let's be honest, there's enough people in this world who want to put limitations on you and want to see you fail. There's a lot of them. Some of them could be living in the house with you. Some of them might be watching this video with you right now. They don't want you to achieve and succeed and be successful. They want to put limitations on you. There's no way you could write a 4.0 essay. There's no way you could get into Harvard. There's no way you could get into Stanford. There's no way you could be a lawyer. There's no way you could be a doctor. There's no way you can make a difference. There's no way you could write a book. There's so many people in this world that are so quick to quit on you, put limitations on you, and sabotage you. You don't need to be someone that does it to yourself. You just need to be somebody who looks at yourself in the mirror and says, I need to get to work. I need to work hard today. I need to achieve something. I have a vision. I have a goal. I have a dream. I need to go after it. My goals for 2019 are huge goals. Some of you might look at them if I showed them to you and they would be like, wow, that's never going to happen. You're already a month in. But it's not for you to say that. And it's not for me to accept you saying that. Because if I'm not going to limit myself or I'm not going to sabotage myself, you're not going to do it either. That's a mature mindset. That's a shark mentality. You're not going to tell a shark he can't go get his fish. What's he going to do? Fine, he'll eat you. You know? I just wanted to talk about that because self-sabotage, I think, is the number one reason why we don't achieve everything that we're destined to achieve and our goals and our dreams and our visions. And it starts with us putting limitations on ourselves. Get that out. Just take it out of your life completely. Stop doing that to yourself. Stop limiting your dreams. Stop limiting your... Dude, if I would have told you guys I was going to write a book in July, which I didn't even start in July. I didn't start till like October. I love a lot of you or any people watching this. I know I do. And I know you guys love me too. But I know that if I would have posted it on my Facebook wall or Instagram and I would have just told everyone, hey, I'm writing the book, I know not everybody would have been like, okay, you could do it. I'm proud of you. I got your back. You might say that you would have done that now because you see the fruit that it's done. But in hindsight, you don't know. And so anybody that's going to put limits on you, sabotage you, and stop you from dreaming and going after those things, those are not people that you can keep into your circle as you dream and you have a vision to go and do things. You could love them. They could be there. You could be there for them. They could still be in your life. But make sure the people that know the things that you're going for, the things that you want to achieve and accomplish and do, those are people that are going to add fruit to you and build you up. I don't know where I've heard this analogy. I wish I could give credit to whoever I heard it from or whatever, but our lives are like bank accounts. And you're going to have people in your life who withdraw and deposit. Well, you know your bank account situation. You can't deposit nothing without things being withdrawn. Or sorry, you can't withdraw nothing without things being deposited in, right? Because why? Eventually you'll go negative. And if people are just pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling out of your bank account, you kind of need to stop letting them into the bank until you get more people to deposit positivity, deposit support, deposit love to back you up, to fill your bank account. Then you could start helping other people. Then you could start, sharing things with people and how you're doing things and how you're achieving and how your goals. A lot of people have written me ever since they found out that I published one book, and my second one is right around the corner to come out. It's going to release very soon. Oh, I've always dreamed of writing a book. I want to write a book. I've written half of a book, or I want to do it. Do it. I'm here to help you. I have a class. We have a class you could take. I have a worksheet you could fill out. I could help you with your outlines. I could help you with publishing, all that. But you have to set yourself up to do it. You have to make the mindset that no matter what people are going to say, it doesn't matter because they're not writing the book. They don't have to be in the mentions. They don't have to be involved at all. Or whatever your dream is. If you want to open up a restaurant, if it's something as crazy as I just want to go to Hawaii next year for my birthday, whatever your dream is, get your vision together, get your plan together, and just do it. Because if you don't do it, somebody's going to do it. So why not it be you? Somebody's going to go to Hawaii next year. Even if you work at McDonald's, there's somebody who works at McDonald's somewhere in the world that's going to go to Hawaii next year. Because they have that goal, their dream, that vision. Why them and not you? Why could I write a book and not you? The answer is because you're self-sabotaging and putting limitations on yourself. You got to stop doing that because there are so many people in this world who will limit you and don't want to see you achieve. And it's sad because they're all around every day. Don't look in the mirror and tell yourself you're stupid, you can't achieve, you can't accomplish, you can't do it. You need to be your number one competition and your number one supporter. Look in the mirror. I see you. I see what you're doing, but you could do better today. You could do something more today. That's pretty much all I got to share with you guys today. I'm not going to post again today. So just remember self sabotage, limitations, dreams, goals, and visions, right? You guys have any questions, you can comment. If you want to email me, my email is dreamchooser11@gmail.com. Hit me up on Facebook under Kyle Ray. That's right there, Kyle Ray. Or you can hit me up on Instagram as DreamChooser11. Also, my next book is going to be coming out soon. It is part of the Dream Chooser series. This book is awesome. It's powerful. You guys are going to love it. It's great for middle school, high school boys, great for athletes. It's just a great story. I appreciate all of you guys taking your time to listen to my message, and I appreciate everyone's support. I love you guys. Stay hungry and stay blessed.